right, so I'm doing this little short one because on why do you tell stories? I've said this before. I say this kind of every year in different times in my English class. Why do you tell a story is the most important reason or most important thing you need to know when you pick up a pen to write a story. Why are you telling people this? What is the point? Yeah, having a message is one thing. Not every story needs to have a message, but having a point. My name is Jeff Carroll, sci-fi writer, filmmaker, comic book dude, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Express Lane. I want to just talk a little bit about on this express lane, why do we write stories? Why do we tell stories? I started off writing my writing career as a rewriter of movies that my cousin and I saw on 42nd Street. We would come back to his neighborhood, to my neighborhood, where kids didn't go for whatever reason, and they didn't see the movies that we saw. And we would tell them, so cool. Actually, I think I told him better than him, but it's all good. He definitely was joining in. I ain't gonna take no shine from him. But we would tell the movies or retell the movies better than the daggone movie were. And sometimes we would add stuff that wasn't in the movie because I think we wanted to defend our decision to go see the movie. Or we would say if they'd have done this, or it'd have been better, and of course you're doing trash movies. Most of the movies we saw, they were grindhouse, they were B movies, and trashing and talking in the theater was part of the enjoyment of the movie. Now, that's how I got started. But if you think of all of the dynamics that were in the beginnings of my writing career, I had a purpose of telling my stories. I had a purpose for telling my stories. It was to entertain. It was to defend our decision to go see these movies. It was to make people feel like they missed something and we did something that they didn't do. If I snuck in the movie, which I was sneaking in the movies a lot in New Jersey, right? If I snuck in a movie, I wanted to make what I did or risked seem worth it, and telling it and making people feel envious was part of it. All right. So how do you make somebody feel envious of a story? Well, you tell a good story. You make it relate to them. You tell them, oh, you would have enjoyed this part, or this is what I got from it, or it looks so good. You understand? The acting was good, right? All of that is part of the purpose in telling it. Now, let's bring all that to where I got this video blog from. Well, I got it from watching this TV show based on Octavia Butler's comic book, well, graphic novel, but that was a graphic novel done after. But her book, Kindred, right? Her Kindred book is about a woman going back into slavery. That's a black woman who's dating a white gentleman, right? And in the book, she's married to him. In the TV show, they like on a first date. They've gone out before, but it's like right after they smashed, okay? And on the verge of like breaking up and separating and stuff like that. But he sticks with her. So that's as much as I can do, right? I'm in terms of telling you. As far as the series go, the book was sort of purposeful, but to me it didn't come to an end that I felt was good, and I felt the ending did not give the character a full arc, right? It didn't show any type of full transformation because it didn't really start in a place that it could have started to get to a place of transformation. So I think that's really what it was, and it's made me reflective on my storytelling because I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to make people feel like, why am I reading this? Why am I watching this? You know what I'm saying? I definitely don't think you have to be as transparent as, you need to take this ring to Mordor, okay? Everything doesn't necessarily have to be a clear journey, but at the end of the day, you still need to reveal a little bit about what is going to happen towards the end. Is this character going to learn something different? Like in Kindred, I wonder, in the comic book, they could have made her more resistant to like 12 Years a Slave, more resistant to revolutionary black thought, because she was a black woman dating married to a white man. So she obviously had a different feeling towards white people than, say, a Hotep, right? Than an angry black man. So maybe if they'd have showed her have that opinion on race, then towards the end of it, her slavery experience, she could have some type of different opinion towards race. But the Kindred's story uses feminism as their weighing point. And while slavery was hard on women, it wasn't easy for black men either. And it's very hard to show it being hard only on black women and not show it being hard on black men. Now, maybe in the past, I'll go back, right? Maybe in the past they didn't show the hardness on women, like in Amistad and in 12 Years a Slave. Maybe, or Roots. Maybe they went soft on women. I have no idea. I don't think it was a walk in the park for anybody. However, when I'm watching this Kindred, it's almost like this is the white fragility version of slavery. I mean, it's so easy on white people that it seems like, living in an abusive house is worse than living in slavery, and I think, I don't know. It's just really weird, and I'm watching it, and I'm wondering, what is like the purpose of this? Where is this going? And that's not something you want to feel all the time. I just watched another story, Wednesday, and from the moment her first episode was over, you knew she was going into this school, and they was going to try to break Lil Tough Wednesday. All right, that's clear, but we don't know. Like this woman in Kindred, I'm wondering, like, were there too many chefs in the kitchen when they were doing this? Like sometimes films or stories and books are have so much success, it ruins it for any other aspect, whether it's doing a sequel or it's a movie adaptation. People have so much love for the brand that it brings too many chefs in the kitchen, right? And I think that's the biggest problem with this, maybe, is so many people in it that it's kind of lost its direction. We want to hate on the Karens. We want to hate on it seems like she's hating on her sister and her brother-in-law, but she seems like the toxic one. Are they hating on black feminists? Are they softening? I have no idea, and I never came to a story and felt like that. Maybe because I feel the pressure of watching it, and I'm putting myself through it, because I probably wouldn't continue watching it if it wasn't an Octavia Butler story. But it is, and I'm still wondering, what is the purpose of this? what is the purpose? I mean, it's made me feel that I will never want to do this to readers. Like, I want to, was it a good fight scene? Am I telling you this because, this takes place in a weird, wild thing? Is this, I know this story, Kindred, is answering a what if that's crazy wild. What if you went back into slavery? But it doesn't necessarily focus on that. It doesn't focus on the difficulties of adjusting to the time period. It doesn't really focus on the difficulties of adjusting to oppression, right? And what that's like. It doesn't present oppression as so oppressing, right? It almost comes off like a telenovela. If you have not, you have to see the Latino soap operas. In Brazil, they have some soap operas that take place during slavery, and it doesn't seem like root slavery. It seems like slavery light, and because of that, I think this is what Kindred feels. So, for me, if I was to write a go back in slavery times, what would you do type story, it would be like 12 Years a Slave. It would be like Emancipation. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no regular living. I mean, Roots had later plantation living, but the earlier plantation living was really horrible. So if you're going back, because I think Kindred takes place in the 1820s. So it's like around the same time as the Woman King. Come on. That's not the fun times. Now America's feeling itself. You post-colonial America and you're into America the country. 50 years America has been America. It's no more British oppression. Now they independent contractors. They selling all of their cotton and stuff on their own free market. This is the period of growth for the South, so they feeling themselves, and so I don't know. I think it'd probably be at their most wicked. I don't know whether enslavement was more wicked before, before America's independence or not, but I think it did have some impact on, how much business they was able to do on the free market. The other thing that I would say is I definitely want to run away. And I think two things I'm thinking, either run away or lead a rebellion. God dang, or three, just die. You know what I'm saying? Either kill me, let me run in a rebellion, or I'm running away. And those three options that I think I would experience. And she's done none of them. She's not afraid. She doesn't want to die, which I would probably want to. Just take me out. Or she's not talking about a rebellion. And she ain't talking about running away. Matter of fact, she's stopping people from running away. That is ridiculous. So, I don't know. I mean, she's not a house slave, she is, but she's not. Damn, maybe that's the problem. Can you imagine going back and, she's not she ain't part of the oppression, but she's not part of the revolution. And that's what I think is kind of sad, but I don't know. That's it. So again, like I said, this is about purpose and story because of my feelings that the story, Kindred doesn't really have one. So anyway, like, subscribe, share, comment. Jeff Carroll, Sci-Fi Express Lane. I'm out of here. Deuces.